Hello everyone and welcome. Iron Mace has made some huge changes to their matchmaking algorithm effective September 14th. I think this is an overwhelmingly positive change for Dark and Darker. I'm excited to tell you about it. So essentially, they've done two things. One, they are matchmaking character levels 14 and below into games of only character levels 14 and below. Number two, they're limiting access for characters to the trading posts before level 15. And what this change is, going to do effectively is it's going to greatly decrease the amount of bullies that we're seeing in Goblin Caves in particular. So it's been very in vogue, since the launch of early access to get a character, your main, and alt, twink it up using the trading post, get a couple blue weapons, load up some purpose-built gear, and go in and bully folks who are just really trying to win the game. This having been live for less than a day now, it is already making a dramatic impact in the quality of games for new players. So I'm really excited to talk about this change. I created a level 1 cleric. I loaded into the Goblin Caves, and I have yet to see anyone running around with, full juiced out gear in cloaks, wielding purple weapons, which I had sort of become accustomed to seeing at least one of those per game, and playing the Goblin Caves had essentially devolved into avoiding that player while still running around and attempting to rat your way, through the dungeon. So I think this is an overwhelmingly positive change. I've got a buddy of mine who just started playing, and he's under level 15, and if I were to take any of my high-level characters and group with him and queue up, we would be queued into the 15 and above kind of bracket, as it were. So what I've done is I've created a new cleric that I can play with him duo, and we can ensure that we're not going to be running into super juiced characters. We might be running into experienced players, but that's fine. Overcoming the skill level between two players is, inherent to Dark and Darker. Overcoming the gear advantage plus the skill level as a new player, that's an incredibly difficult proposition, and I think it would turn a lot of people off of the game, honestly. So I think this is a dramatically positive change. Now, that being said, I just ran into a bard, and he was extremely low health and looking to have a sit, and so I had to kill him and take his stuff. But yeah, so we spawned here into the Goblin Caves here in Mummy Alley, and so I have cleared out the mummies. One thing I'm running differently today, I am running Smite, which has a short cooldown and applies more on-hit damage with your melee weapon, opposed to Judgment, which you're probably used to seeing me run. I just wanted to give it a whirl, new first level character. The first level perk I took was one weapon mastery. That is absolutely the correct move as a solo cleric. And then I think it's a toss-up. Judgment, certainly better in some situations, like for example against barbarians where you want to keep the spacing, or even fighters where you want to maintain spacing. Judgment, really superior. But Smite is pretty decent as well. Run into this fighter, he is also low health. I had the benefit of the protection shrine, so it was almost like a guaranteed win there. He could have been full health and pop second win, and I still would have killed him with the benefit of the protection shrine. Now, he had some gear, so I don't know if he's been playing a bunch today, or it looks like you're grandfathered in. So if you had, I have like a level 13 rogue. I don't really enjoy the rogue that much, but I have like a level 13 one. And, I had already unlocked access to the trading post, and that seems to persist even after these changes. So I got on my rogue as soon as the patch hit, and loaded up my best gear, and I sat around the portal for a while camping any legacy kind of bullies who may be trying to extract. I had a little fun with that. I got out with a cape from a Cape Crusader earlier, but so I think these changes are pretty damn positive, and I'm excited to see what the impact is from a new player perspective, but I imagine it's going to be very well received, except for probably the vocal minority who were, as we've discussed previously, coming in to Goblin Caves super juiced, experiencing almost no risk for an almost certain reward. That's what those guys were doing pretty consistently over the last month and a half. So I'm kind of glad to see that that is maybe behind us. So I saw this ranger. He's kiting the skeletal champion and a couple of skellies and maybe a death beetle. I don't have a lot of hopes for him, but I want to stay off the aggro table for that stuff. So I decided to hide here and wait for more information. I popped an invis bot and I'm about to pop a second one. I can hear him fighting around the corner. Surprisingly, it looks like he won, and he's heading my way. All the better. Surprise, Invisiclair. He's fast on his feet. Very low hit points, though. I imagine taking that trap to the head was not great for him. But yeah, so I've been playing with my buddy, and like I said, he's new to the game. We've been duoing in runes, and while it hasn't been extremely common, we've been consistently running into pretty, well-equipped characters in there. And so, my advice to him was, hey, while you're leveling, while you're learning, just, extract as often as possible, get the gold out, get any gear you find out, and save that gear for like when you're going to be able to play on a level playing field. I think now with the changes that they've introduced today, it's actually giving people an incentive to, even as a new player, as a level 8 or a level 10 or a level 12 character to, consistently bring gear in, because you can gain the benefit of that without, the very high likelihood that you're going to lose it to considerably better equipped folks. I really have no idea where that skeleton champion got out to. Oh, there it is. I'll walk right over it and never even looked. Somebody shot at me. Nerve. All these rangers I'm finding are very low health. What? Okay. I screamed at the top of my lungs when that rogue jumped to me. Talk about jump scares. Yeah, so now we get to do the best thing you can do in Dark and Darker is rationalize your existing loot pile. I get to do this for a little while, go through and find low value trinkets and replace them with higher value trinkets out of these guys' inventory. I see my exit portal sitting across the way in the storm. I don't mind tanking it for a second. And I'm outie. 5 kills. 200 gold in sellable baubles. 3 amulets. Not a bad run. So I think the Goblin Caves and the game in general just became considerably more accessible. I think it's, decreased the very steep learning curve involved with, going into the unknown game with a new character, trying to figure out how to play while dealing with not only more experienced players, but considerably better equipped players. I think it's a fabulous change. I couldn't be more pumped for it, and I'm looking forward to running some duos in a lower risk environment. So yeah, right at 200 in sellables. pulled out 3 amulets and a pair of plate gloves that were 1 all. I'll bank those for when I'll do a gear run. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. It helps me a ton.